This is gonna sound bad, but I've never been the biggest fan of Mario. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing but respect for the franchise, but in terms of games I sit down and enjoy, it's never quite reached the peak that it does for so many. I saw a video recently that showed the genius of how level 1-1 from the very first Super Mario Bros. Game on the NES taught you everything you needed to know about the game within the first 30 seconds of playing. All without words. That's brilliant game design, and like I said, I have immense respect for everything they're doing. But I never beat the game, and it wasn't until Super Mario Odyssey that I finally made it to the end of a Mario game. So now that I've appropriately alienated myself from most people watching this, let's jump into a review of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for the Nintendo Switch. This is a reissue of the 2012 Wii U game, and it's just one in a long list of games Nintendo is re-releasing on the Switch. This will get these games a wider audience than they ever got on the misguided Wii U. Also, I say reissue instead of remake or remaster because it's really the same game as before with a few small differences. If you played the old version, the main difference is the game now runs at 1080p when you're docked compared to 720p on the Wii U, and of course 720p when you're in portable mode. But thankfully, New Super Mario Bros. Art style scales very nicely to each resolution. But I didn't play the original game, and there's a decent chance you didn't either, so let's not dwell anymore on the original game, let's treat this like a new game in 2019. The thing that struck me first about this game is the aforementioned art style. This is probably old news to more hardcore Mario fans, but I really don't love the 3D art used in this game. Models are very shiny and don't look as beautiful to my eyes than the series' 2D pixel art or the latest Super Mario Odyssey style, which is 3D and remains cartoony with some more realistic elements that make a big difference for me. As it stands, it's cute enough, but it's definitely not my favorite design in the Mario universe. But that's only part of the story. Mario games live and die on their gameplay, and here is where I think Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe fares much better. Moving around the world takes a little getting used to, as Mario has more momentum in his movements than any other character in platformers I've played recently. The recent trend I've seen in platformers is to have characters start and stop on a dime, and compared to that, Mario feels like a boat. This momentum, of course, is built into the expectations the game sets for you, so it works out, but it does take some getting used to. Frankly, considering how influential Mario has been on platformers, it's a little surprising how few successful platformers these days implement more momentum-based character movement over the more immediately responsive movement. Now, that's just me describing how Mario works, which again is not something everyone needs, but it's important for one specific thing I noticed about the game. It's actually kind of hard. I've heard a lot of reviewers say that the game is stupid easy and that you could basically play it blindfolded, but I don't find that to be the case at all. This is not the hardest game in the world, but I found it to present enough challenge for me to stay engaged without making me feel like I was ever truly stuck. If you're a platforming wizard, maybe you'll breeze through the game, but I died at least once every level, and more often 5 or 6 times. Maybe I'm just bad at video games, but the difficulty seemed perfectly tuned for me. If you ever get into a spot where you just can't seem to get past a level, the game will give you the option to have Luigi take over, and he will literally play the level for you. At the end of the level, the game will ask you if you want to try it yourself, based on what he showed you, or just let Luigi pass the level on your behalf. This basically means that you will never get completely stuck in a level, because Luigi will bail you out. You don't have to use this feature if you don't like it, but it's there for those who need a little helping hand. The biggest benefit this Luigi mode gave me was that it showed me the best way to get through the game is to slow down. When I ran into obstacles, my instinct was to try to speed through them, go faster, try to get past the obstacles. Again, years of playing non-Mario platformers trained me to value reflexes as the best way to get through challenges. Slowing down a bit and tackling whatever was in my way methodically worked so much better in this game, though. This made me more precise with my movements and focus on one thing at a time. It's much easier to dodge a single bullet bill instead of trying to dodge a whole barrage of them, plus turtles, plus Goombas, all while running at full speed. But if you want more challenge, you can totally do that, and there are some really impressive speedruns you can watch people playing for this game at a whole other level. Nintendo even has a section in the main menu where you can go to find a ton of videos of really skilled players going through some levels like madmen. It's really impressive stuff, and I really enjoyed watching a few of these. You can also find more challenge in the bundled New Super Luigi U portion of the package, which is a whole other game that was originally released as a standalone game for the Wii U. This is more of a mode than a truly unique game, as it uses the same world map and mostly remixes levels from the main game, but it remixes them in a way that makes everything faster and a bit more challenging. You know how I said slowing down helped you get through the harder levels in the main game? Yeah, that's usually not a viable option in this mode. I should also mention that you don't have to play the game as Mario himself. You can also play as Luigi or Toad, who both play pretty similarly to Mario, and there are also Toadette and Nabbit. Toadette has more jumping abilities and can turn into Peachette with a certain power-up, which is weird, but makes her even easier to move around the game. And Nabbit is basically cheating, as he completely is invincible to all enemies, which means you just have to contend with jumping from platform to platform. You absolutely don't have to play with these characters, but they are there if you want to take some of the edge off the game. Parents with young kids may even find these to be a godsend. I should also mention that you can play the entire game in up to 4-player co-op. This mode is lots of fun, but can turn into chaos very quickly. I actually found the game to be a little harder in multiplayer, as you are constantly bouncing off each other to your doom. It is really fun as a party game, but it's probably not how you want to play through the entire campaign. And that's about it. There are a few minigames that never really grabbed my attention, as the main game plus the new Luigi U mode really scratched the itch that I needed from this game. This won't be my game of the year, and it wouldn't have been in 2012 when it originally came out, but it's a fun game for those who aren't too jaded to have a little simple joy. I love how it scales its difficulty with in-level challenges like getting 3 special coins, letting you play with different characters, and giving you a safety valve in the form of having Luigi just do it for you when you really get frustrated. I also love how tight the controls are. Even if Mario and company control a little different than most platformers I play today, it's really, really good gameplay that always makes you feel like you're in control and is very consistent, so you never feel like when you die, it's the game's fault. It's always your fault. The game is held back from greatness, as it doesn't feel particularly inspired. It's a good game, for sure, and I've said mostly great things about it so far, but it doesn't take enough risks. Super Mario Odyssey made me go wow over and over as I played it, with each world delivering tons of moments of wonder and admiration at the sheer creativity at play. New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe feels like a Mario game going through the motions. It's good for what it is, but it's not pushing the boundaries of what Nintendo is capable of in 2019. The game's like comfort food. It's simple and familiar, and sometimes that's just what we need.